What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at the all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan. This is an SEL R-Line top trim at $42,000. And then we have the all-new 2025 Audi Q5. This is a premium plus coming in at $60,000. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the brand, Volkswagen Audi Group, part of the same umbrella, these are basically the same car underneath, just the Audi version versus the Volkswagen version. Now, when you look at the Audi spectrum, it starts around 53 going up to well over 70 grand. But as far as these two cars, they are trimmed out very similarly, almost a $20,000 difference. Is it worth spending the extra money for the Audi, or should you just get the new Volkswagen? So moving on to some of the specifications for the all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan. This is going to get a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with 201 horsepower and 221 pound-feet of torque. This gets an 8-speed automatic along with the 4-motion all-wheel drive system. Overall curb weight is around 3,800 pounds. It has a 15.6 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 22 miles per gallon in the city with 30 out on the highway. For the Audi Q5, this is also going to get the same 2-liter inline 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. However, we have 268 horsepower with 295 pound-feet of torque. This one gets a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission with quattro all-wheel drive. And then the overall curb weight is 4,200 pounds with a 17.2 gallon fuel tank and 22 miles per gallon in the city and 30 out on the highway. So moving on to the styling, both of these are all new for this year, and I gotta say, the Volkswagen especially looks fantastic. You have a really cool dark design for the LED headlights with an LED trim piece going all the way through that upper grille. It's got a pretty bold appearance. Gloss black for all the mesh forward-facing camera, tons of openings to provide cooling, parking sensors as well, some silver trim, and some openings in the front bumper to allow some airflow to pass through. For the Audi Q5, this is a lot more curvy, I would say. Doesn't look quite like the old one anymore. You have a very sleek design on the headlights, some gray colored for the grille. I do like the ambient lit Audi logo, forward camera, forward parking sensors, safety sensors down below, and functional openings on the side. So as far as exterior styling, comment below which one do you think looks better at this nearly $20,000 price difference. Audi Q5 has some sleek lines on the hood, nice design throughout the side with some sharp accents and a lot of curvy lines to it. Got some brushed aluminum accents for the roof rails as well as the window trim. And then here on the Volkswagen, a little bit more sharp lines, black trim throughout the windows with one shiny silver piece cutting all the way through, which is a pretty cool touch. You can tell similar style for those roof rails, panoramic roof on both cars. And then in back on the Tiguan, this will all light up. Even the Volkswagen logo lights up in red when the key fob is behind it. So you have a really cool design on the dark housings for those taillights. Sharp look down below with some mesh look, parking sensors. Really good looking car, really no complaints. Over on the Audi, once again, it's a little bit more sleek with more curves throughout it. Honestly, I think the Volkswagen does look a little bit better. It has a little bit more bold style, where this is a bit maybe more curvy than my taste would like. You do have a nice set of exhaust tips, some fake mesh as well, and then the massive red taillight throughout the whole thing with the nice white and black along the Audi logo. Similar profile as they are the same platform, and once again, just more curves on the Audi versus a more bold style on the Volkswagen. Now taking a look at the interior, we're sitting in the all-new 2025 Volkswagen Tiguan. This has a very cool looking dashboard. You got a soft touch material up above with some faux stitching, some nice shiny black with some texture to it, and then this light tan color open wood style trim. You got the beige leather style as well, very cool look. Center gauge cluster has a cool look to it as well with the full digital design. You can scroll through several different things on the right side of the screen and then continue over into the center. You can see a few different things right here, and then as well as the left screen. So it's a pretty cool design. I like how the square shaped screen is kind of tucked away. And then we have the massive 15-inch display in the center. There's a lot in here. One drawback with both cars, for climate, while you have heated and ventilated seats and a lot of the controls right here, you have to tap climate every single time to then adjust your fan speed, which is a little annoying. You can also toggle this icon and just get a smaller version of the same screen. You have your home icon. You can see a couple different things that are going to pop up. This is a very configurable screen with a lot going on. You can really monitor pretty much everything in the car, which is pretty sweet to see. If I go ahead and put it into reverse, you got a nice HD top-down view, backup camera as well. Going into drive, you have that forward view as well. Up top, we have several different icons you can tap into and make all sorts of adjustments, the seats, the climate. You have the car icon here. We can adjust some of those settings. Of course, full screen navigation, more icons as well. So cool screen, it does have a lot going for it. You have these touch sensitive icons down here for temperature as well as the volume. Wouldn't mind if this was fan speed, then I really wouldn't have a complaint. But cool screen overall. Yeah, climate controls, storage in the center, a little bit of piano black. Volume dial is right here, but you can also toggle this. It'll go into your drive mode and back. So in drive modes, we have the comfort, sport, custom, off-road. So pretty nice design here. You have storage in the center, and then we have extra storage hidden all here, which is connecting from one to the other. For these seats, I love this design with the perforations. You got this cool quilted leather style with the different colors. Very premium interior. Door panel has a nice ergonomic shape for the release handle, some piping, all soft touch, a nice grab handle as well. Massive panoramic sunroof up above with all those controls, as well as a thin mirror. And then on the steering wheel, you just have a nice normal design with your basic buttons on the left and the right. Gear select is over here, headlights over on the left side. But a really nice interior for the money. As far as a $42,000 car goes, this definitely beats everything else in the market. And then moving over to the all-new 2025 Audi Q5, as you can tell, we have a very different looking interior. I will say, while in pictures and videos, this looks a little odd, the material use and the way this feels is a step up. This is a pretty nice interior. We have these soft touch material running across the whole dashboard, more of it on the top. There's ambient lighting all throughout that trim up there. And then on the dashboard, higher trims will get a screen here. Mid trims and lower trims, you just get a chunk of plastic, so it's a little odd looking. We have this cool open wood design as well, more of the stitching and this light beige color down below. For the screen, you have this one massive curved display all integrated into the dash. In the center here, we can configure on the left and right side, see a couple different icons. Same thing for that side, and then the view icon, you can get a little bit different look. Steering wheel finish off nicely in black leather. You have some silver trim. I actually do like the new logo, it looks pretty sleek. And we have these touch sensitive buttons that will disappear when the engine is off. Heated steering wheel, volume controls. For the center multimedia, just like in the Volkswagen, again, you have to hit menu to then adjust your fan speed. I don't know why that is a modern trend. I'm not a fan at all, but you do have heated and ventilated seats, your temperature. Hitting auto will pretty much crank everything up, so it's really something you do kind of get used to once again. Home icon, you're gonna get to this screen where you have all sorts of configurations, just like in the Volkswagen. We do have drive modes in here though, so this can get a lot more sporty into dynamic, comfort, as well as in off-road mode. So a little bit more configurability for the driving. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, all sorts of different settings you can play with, of course. So pretty nice screen overall. I think the Volkswagen, I like how it's integrated more. However, the massive tablet on the Volkswagen I'm not a fan of. So kind of 50-50 between the two. If I go in reverse, you have a bit more HD graphics. And when I turn the steering wheel, it actually turns the camera. So that is a pretty cool touch. All sorts of cameras just like in the Volkswagen. For this, the shifter is this little nub down here. You just slide it forwards and back, P button. You're gonna see your climate vents down here. The drive select to go ahead and adjust those drive modes once again. Engine start stop button. We have plugs, wireless phone charging, volume, more soft touch and ambient lighting, and then piano black throughout the center with your cup holders. On the armrest, it is adjustable, tons of space here, and you can put it in different positions. Got a massive glove box over there, and then I love these seats. They are really nice. They have adjustable leg rests as well. The perforations, the smooth leather material all throughout it. And then on the door panel, we have our release handle, and then the grab handle's integrated nicely with more of the contrast and all soft touch. One complaint on the driver's side, you're gonna get all these touch buttons for the window controls, memory seating, lock and unlock. So you don't get your normal grab handle, which would be right here, as it is on that side. So for the driver, you have to reach in and grab this giant chunky piece. So that's a little hard. I'm sure you're gonna scratch this up very badly, sticking your hand in there. But nonetheless, you can tell the Audi is actually a bit more premium, just a difference in preference for the tech. So hopping into the backseat with the Volkswagen Tiguan, it is worth mentioning there is ambient lighting all throughout the interior. You can see a little bit down below and it leads to the dashboard. It's a really nice interior for the price. So you're gonna get the panoramic sunroof, so you have all the nice openings. And then with the glass, very open feeling, of course. At 5'11", I have a ton of headroom. Driver's seat at my height, I have a ton of legroom and footroom. There's gonna be climate vents back here, heated seats. You have two different plugs. This is a pretty good place. You can't recline the seat, however, honestly, it's at a good angle. The seat is padded. It's well sized where I fit fine in here. You have a little bit of harder plastics on the top of the door, but same soft touch all throughout it with a padded armrest. And then in the center, you can pull this seat down and you're gonna get the nice armrest with cup holders And overall, really can't complain. This is a solid back seat. So hopping into the back seat with the Audi Q5, this actually feels a little bit smaller. With the driver's seat, once again, at my height, I have less legroom in here. Overall seating position though is pretty similar. I have plenty of headroom, got the panoramic roof, lots of glass to make it feel very open. These seats do recline, however, it is about a 2-inch difference, so not really much of a difference. It feels pretty much just like in the Volkswagen. The seat bases are well padded, so it fits me quite nicely. You're gonna get the air vents right in the center along with the USBs. There's no heated seats, however, we can configure your temperature back here at least. So kind of a toss up between the two. This can seat 3 people. You can also fold this down for the armrest and cup holders, and you can even independently fold down this whole center seat for a nice pass through. And another last feature is we're gonna get sunshades in back. So maybe a couple more amenities back here, but legroom is better in the Volkswagen. Moving on to the cargo space, both cars are gonna have a power liftgate, and then in the Volkswagen, the driver's side has the individual seat that will fold down, and then passenger side has the 2. Now with the seats in the up configuration, you have about 26 cubic feet of cargo volume in the trunk. I do love how there are grab handles right here you can pull and get these seats to fold down. With it fully opened up, you now have about 59 cubic feet of cargo volume. There's gonna be lots of hidden space all throughout the corners, and then there's even a spare tire underneath. Moving over to the Audi, very similar as expected. This one's gonna get 28 cubic feet of cargo volume in the trunk, so it's a little larger. However, with the seats folded down, we have 57, so it's actually a little smaller with them down. Obviously, this can have 3 seats that will fold down independently. However, the left side will now kind of stick together, as you can see. You still have the grab handles to fold them down, a little bit of a cutout on the left and the right side. And then underneath the floor, we don't have a spare tire, but we do have a nice cargo area. So overall, pretty similar as far as the cargo space goes, which makes a lot of sense with the power tailgates. So we are just in the normal comfort drive mode, getting my bearings with how comfortable this is to drive. We'll go on a bumpy road and then a smooth road. On this bumpy road, you can tell the sounds you're hearing when you hit all these bumps. This is a very well insulated car. The added weight compared to the Volkswagen, you know, makes a lot of sense. This feels very solid hitting bumps. It feels very solid when you close doors, and just the ambiance of sound you're hearing in this car is solid. Audis are great cars. I've always been a fan. And this rides like that. The suspension is super plush. We're gliding over bumps. It is a really nice place to be. Now, while it has the same engine, we can go into dynamic and bump up the performance a little bit, but this has more power, which is nice from the 4-cylinder engine comparing it to the Volkswagen. So in dynamic mode, we'll leave it in automatic. The throttle response is a lot peppier. And just getting up a little bit. Very smooth power delivery. Really no complaints. It's gonna hold the gears a little bit longer for the transmission, but dynamic does make this a bit more sharper than in comfort. In comfort, you still of course have the same power, but it's nice to have this kind of power in the car. It's not a fast SQ5 obviously, but it's not sluggish. It'll get up to speed very well. It's very well balanced. Good visibility all around. The seats are comfortable, and I love this interior. I like it way more than I thought. In pictures and on camera, it doesn't look as good as it does in person. In person, the layers to it, the kind of depth and contours to everything, it's a very nice place to be. The screen looks fine having this big curved display. I think honestly there's way too much information in all these modern cars with everything on the screen you're never going to use. And the climate controls on both cars, I hate having to hit menu every time to do the fan speed. They could totally have a toggle for that, just like they have the temperature. So that's my one complaint. The door handle is a complaint of mine. You don't really get a normal door handle on this because you have this touchpad over here for all the window controls. So you have to grab this very large, I mean it's this big, grabbing the door handle to close it. On the passenger side, you have the normal grab handle, which is still here, it's just got something in its place. So if you have smaller hands, if you're a smaller person, honestly, even for me, it's kind of been cumbersome to grab the door handle and close it. I feel like you're gonna scratch up this plastic a lot. So I don't like the door handle. I do like the shifter, I like how small it is, and yeah, you got a little bit of piano black. I don't like the whole screen thing on this right side. You know, it's kind of just a big chunk of plastic. So there are some things I don't like about the style of the new car. Exterior, it looks a little bit like a Ford Escape in my opinion, but I think overall, as I get my bearings driving in the Q5, it drives good. It is a luxury car. You can tell that. The interior fit and finish is totally there for the price. All right, so moving on to the Volkswagen Tiguan to get my bearings with what this is all about. As far as the aesthetics for the interior, I almost prefer the Volkswagen actually. I don't hate the Audi. I think the Audi, like the door panels, everything, like the center, it all looks really nice. However, I would prefer the Volkswagen. It's got a normal grab handle, which is easy to use, more ergonomic shaped on the release handle. I like this dashboard better too. And while it has kind of a plastic chunk over here, this looks more integrated. It looks more like it's supposed to be there. There's a cool texture to it. The screen is massive in here, and it's, you know, that giant tablet style that not everyone likes. It could be smaller, but honestly, I don't really mind it. You do get used to it with what there is to offer on it. So I don't mind that at all. I think this is a really good interior for the money. Again, you have to hit climate every single time to adjust your fan speed. They need to stop doing that in modern cars. That really needs to stop. The dash layout with the wood, again, I like the style better. However, you can tell there is a quality difference. Now, going into this review, I was pretty sure I was gonna say these are the same cars, just different price range. But getting in this, it does feel a little bit below. And pulling out into some quicker traffic, there is a big difference in the power. This is borderline too sluggish. So we had some cars coming out 45. I started accelerating at a reasonable time, but there is so much like lag in the engine and throttle response where I was pedal to the floor just now, and it took me till I was straight, probably a good 4 or 5 seconds until the power started coming on. And that made it to where that was not a big enough gap to get into traffic. So the Audi's extra power is a big deal. The dynamic mode in the Audi is a big deal to make it way more zippy and peppy to do simple maneuvers getting into traffic. This car, it's not that it's too sluggish, it's definitely too slow for my taste, but there are definitely been a couple times already in just a week that I've had this to where you need to plan the gaps that you get into. So this could use a bit more power for sure, better throttle response. Hitting some of these bumps now in the Volkswagen, you know, there's just a little higher pitched tone to the car making, like hitting bumps and stuff. The Audi, everything is a very deep ambiance of tone. This has a higher pitched tone to where the build quality isn't the same. So you can tell they have made this car cheaper, which makes so much sense. It's $18,000 cheaper. So ending thoughts, driving in these sibling cars, the all-new Audi Q5 and the all-new Volkswagen Tiguan. To be honest, they're both really nice cars, and the Volkswagen isn't just the same car with a different badge for a lot less money. The Audi's a big step up. Every little creature comfort aspect, the ride quality, the plush feeling, the solid aspects, the power delivery are a little bit better in the Audi. Aesthetically, I think the Volkswagen looks better, it's more sporty. This does kind of look like a Ford Escape to me, so I'm really not feeling a lot of the new Audi styles. Interior-wise though, I think the Audi is fantastic. It feels and looks very good. Aside from the door handle and the chunk of plastic on the passenger side, the interior is really nice on the Audi. Give it a chance. But for the price point, this is so much less money. The interior is so nice, especially compared to its competitors. So I think Volkswagen Audi Group honestly did a great job on both cars. Just some personal preferences that you may not like on one or the other. So comment below your thoughts on the newest Tiguan, the newest Q5. Not gonna be everyone's taste, but these are pretty solid for the money for sure. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for plenty more content, and I'll see you all in the next video.